Hey y'all, Nickie Brown here. No matter where you are and what part of the world you are in, I hope that you are having a good day. So we're gonna make this kind of quick. We're talking about the High Priestess. And we're looking at the littlesparkofjoy.com. So the High Priestess is moon or Cancer energy. And if you know anything about astrology, you know that Cancers can be a little moody and emotional at times, or very sensitive. But it's also the power of loyalty. So this is just energy. Doesn't mean that the person is a Cancer or has to be a Cancer. This is just the energy of some Cancers. Not all, but for the majority, this is the energy that they carry. This High Priestess can be very secretive. You see, I always talk about the light, also the light and the dark side. Also, you see this T-O-R-A. We know that it's the Torah, but the H is cut off. So again, it's like she's hiding it in her robe, being secretive. Now in the Modern Witch Tarot deck, it looks a little different. It's like she's hiding her laptop or her electronic device. So you can't really see what she's typing or what she's doing, but we still have that element of dark and light. This B stands for Boaz, and this is Jachin. So if you're familiar with those characters, you can actually look those up. We also see that both of them have the moon, like the crescent moon in the picture, right? This one, her gown is really long and flowy. This gown is more purple. It's more like a cape. And this one is blue, like the sky. This High Priestess can be insecure, fearful, but very spiritual at the same time. Mysterious, very instinctual as well. This is the intuitive mystic. And the High Priestess uses the power of his or her own intuition. If you're talking about a couple, that's usually the Magician and the High Priestess. Some people say the High Priestess and the Hierophant, but the Magician and the High Priestess are right next to each other, and they're both those very intuitive spiritual beings, right? If you have a yes or no question, the answer is actually maybe. But you should definitely trust your instincts if this card comes out in the upright. This High Priestess card is very powerful and intriguing at the same time. It represents sexuality. As I already said, someone who's very mysterious, and who has a lot of power, high power energy. The High Priestess doesn't really take action. She's more of a doer, if that makes sense. So this card may be encouraging you to back away from a situation. And so when I say a doer, I mean a mental doer and not a physical doer. So if you're doing something, you might want to back away from it for a little while, or withdraw from that energy or that activity, and just kind of sit back and observe and use your intuition. Instead of trying to control things, look at the potential and the possibility, because there's limited and unlimited possibilities. You see the symbol over top of her head. It's almost like a halo, and she's wearing one as well. Again, so that intuitive, higher power energy, that understands that life is full of limited and infinite possibilities. It could be a time to retreat and reflect. Again, using your intuition. Trust your instincts to guide you through a situation or circumstance. Um, this High Priestess uses the power of the unconscious mind and the divine feminine, male or female. Very intuitive again. In the reverse, this person can repress their feelings, withdraw, and be very silent. So again, that secretive, fearful energy. Boaz represents the pillar of strength, and Jachin is the pillar of establishment. This basically represents duality, so masculine, feminine, black, white, negative, positive, good, bad. Although there should be a balance of those, and there really is no such thing as good or bad, right? If you understand that from a spiritual perspective. But there should always be duality, and that's what these two cards represent: the duality, the light and dark of forces. So the light and the dark. So it's like we're all a combination of those things, and we can either gravitate more toward our light side or the dark side, right? Like Star Wars, the light side of the force or the dark side of the force. So accepting duality is basically sacred, right? It's a sacred mental space. She can be the mediator between these depths of reality, the light and the dark forces. She could symbolize a third pillar herself, or a path in between the two pillars. So what path are you going to take? Are you going to take that intuitive path? Or are you going to be fearful? But it's like she's in between both worlds, both the light and the dark, right? But she has knowledge of both, and knowledge, and you need to learn from both. Although you may not want to be dark, or you may not gravitate more toward your dark side, you should still have knowledge of them so that you can properly use your intuition. So being that she has the Torah covered, it means the sacred knowledge is both explicit and implicit. And when you're ready, you'll see what you need to see. So when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And it's a matter of balancing your mind, your heart, your body, and your soul or your spirit, however you want to look at it. The magician is more external, but the priestess represents more internal power. That's why she's holding the scroll and she's not reading it, because the power is going to come from within, and when you're ready, again, that knowledge will come to you. That crescent moon above her head that I talked about before is a reflection of her connection with the divine feminine, her intuition, her subconscious mind, and the natural cycles of the moon. So if you see in the middle, that's like a full moon, but on the both sides, it's like a crescent moon symbol. And then there's even that in the photo. And we know that the moon kind of, over the 30 days or 28 days, it goes from the new moon to the full moon, right? Which is what we're in now. We're in that new moon energy. And we're also having some eclipse energy as well. The veil of pomegranates. So the pomegranates in the background, right? Those symbolize abundance, fertility, and the divine feminine. So whenever you see flowers, grass, fish, things of that nature, though it represents abundance because fish are fertile. Uh, Grass is abundant. Fruits and vegetables can be abundant. So whenever you see those types of symbols, it usually means prosperity and abundance. It also symbolizes her ability to move from the upper self to the lower self, or the upper realm to the lower realm. Excuse me. The veil could also be hiding, and in this one it just looks like a curtain, but there could also be what's behind that curtain. We don't know. It's a mystery, right? So it's like, if this represents a divine feminine, she's not showing you all of who she is. She's holding back a little bit. So if it's a love reading, it could mean that, there's somebody who's kind of holding back a little bit and not showing you all of them. Not that they're necessarily being dishonest, but they're being mysterious, and wanting you to gradually maybe learn more and more about them. It could be male or female. And only those who have the knowledge and are ready will be able to enter and learn what is behind curtain number 1, right? When this card appears, it's usually a time to learn and listen to your intuition rather than your intellect or your conscious mind, right? Sometimes we overthink or think too much. It's telling you to slow down and reflect on what you've learned and acquire even more knowledge before making a decision or taking action. Connect to your higher self. When you do this, the answers will freely flow as they come from within. Once you have learned to consult your inner silence for answers to your practical dilemmas, you have achieved the ideal of the High Priestess. You connect more with your divine feminine side, whether you're male or female. Embrace the sacred feminine in order to bring your masculine and feminine energies into balance again, because everything is duality. So we should all be a balance of masculine and feminine energy, whether we are considered male or female. It always should be duality. Feel rather than think, and trust your divine feminine energy, even if the masculine energy around you may appear to be stronger. The High Priestess could also be considered the gatekeeper at the ancient temples, right? So you may be facing a gatekeeper or somebody who is protecting this energy, or you're protecting your own life or self. Also, she's saying stop worrying about the outcome and trust the decisions of the gatekeeper. So Spirit may have sent someone to you, and they've divinely guided this connection, but you're so focused on whether or not you can trust this person, right? So Spirit is saying basically, just sit back and trust and allow it to happen and allow it to flow. And if, this is not the right person, it will eventually come out, and maybe there was something that you needed to learn, but we can't try to control it and determine what's going on ahead of time, like by trying to have card readings done, or trying to ask all these questions. No, just kind of sit back and get to know the person and see how it flows and opens up before your eyes. So stop worrying about the outcome and trust the decision. Meanwhile, you can use your energy and time to reflect on what you've learned and prepare yourself for possible outcomes. So either way it goes, you should be prepared. Once the outcome is clear, you'll be ready to act on it. So again, if you're supposed to be in a relationship with this person, great. If you're not, you move on and you think about what you learned from the situation. In the reverse, again, it's the High Priestess is telling you to slow down and take time to reconnect with yourself. It may be a sign that you're repressing your own feelings and that you're finding it hard to listen to your own intuition. Or there was a situation where you should have followed your intuition and you ignored it. Or you allow someone else's opinion to take you off your square instead of thinking about what was right for you or what was best for you. Be careful not to listen to other people's influence and trust your own intuition. And stand your ground and trust your own intuition, your own knowledge. You don't need approval from others. Seek the answers from within. Get quiet, so meditate, withdraw, unplug, from the external world so you can make sure you're getting the proper inner guidance that is being shared with you. And understand that you already have the knowledge that you need to find the answers from within yourself. You just need confidence and trust in yourself so that you can know what's the best thing to do. If this is about a career, you may need to go back to school or seek knowledge of some sort. Ask yourself, what are you passionate about? What are your desires? And really think about these questions so you can make the best decision. The answer to what you should do to earn money isn't cut and dry with the High Priestess, since she is full of wonder. It's that mystery. This doesn't mean that she can't provide some guidance, though. There may be some hidden factors at play that are stopping you from progressing. What is going on behind the scenes or behind the curtain or behind the veil that needs to be revealed? So what other additional knowledge do you need to gain? What about your intuition are you not trusting? But this card is encouraging you to take a step back and look at the situation as an observer and ask yourself, what advice would you give a friend if you were in those shoes? Figure out what you're really passionate about. Follow, create a strategy or read about, this passion that you have so you can learn more about it. Question yourself if there's something holding you back, right? If she comes up in a love reading, you need to focus on your own desires and having your own needs met. You may be feeling dissatisfied with many areas of your life involving love. If she represents your partner or friend, you'll probably feel like you can't achieve intimacy no matter how hard you try. And basically she's telling you to stop trying. We aren't saying to give up on your life or your relationship, but simply take a step back and let what already is blossom. So sometimes we have a hard time accepting people for who they are, the way that they are, and we feel like we have to control them. And this person may be showing you love, but maybe it's not in a way that you can understand or receive, but they're doing it in a way that makes sense to them. For example, well, look at the 5 love languages. Their love, it's quality time, acts of service. So their love language may be more acts of service. And so their act of service is getting up, going to job or starting a business and bringing home the bacon, so to speak, right? And your love language may be touch. And maybe you feel like this person doesn't touch you enough. But it doesn't mean that they don't love you. It's just that their love language is different. And so they're showing up in a way that makes sense to them and what they would want to do. And if you have never told this person what makes you feel good or what you want to do or what you want to hear, how will they know? They can't even try. So basically you're not trying. You're just getting frustrated or complaining. Like I was watching something about some ladies in Mississippi. They're entrepreneurs, millionaire entrepreneurs in Mississippi. And the husband, I think he's a truck driver or something like that. And so he's not home all the time. But when he does come home, he's used to his wife having, dinner made, having some hams, giving him some hams, right? And she decided to start a business. And so she's become successful millionaire. And he's like, what's up? We need a contract because I'm not used to this. I'm used to you catering to me when I come home. And she's like, well, I'm trying to do this for us. And he's like, I don't need you to do that for us because I'm already doing something for us. Um, but again, in her mind, she has shifted and she was using her intuition to guide her to do the things that she's passionate about. And he's like, yeah, but I'm not used to that, so I don't want you to do that. And so there has to be, both of them have to step back and kind of, be willing to compromise and sacrifice. He may need to, say, okay, I know that this is something my wife's passionate about. Um, so let me go ahead and make me a ham and cheese sandwich. Um, and we'll figure out the intimacy part later. And she may need to, do her best to at least try to have something made or ready before he comes home. Or at least order, and have something ready for him, whatever that looks like for them. But again, it's not that they're not showing love or that she's not showing him love. She's doing what she thinks is best for the family, right? So just taking a step back and not giving up, but again, just looking at it from a different perspective and using your intuition to guide you. And as it says, letting what already is blossom. Okay. Watching the caterpillar turn to a butterfly. Although it may seem to be a struggle, the butterfly is still going to emerge. But we can't force it or force others to commit or be content before we're ready or before they're ready, because that will build resentment. It's okay to be passive and patient with your partner. Focus on your own desires and needs, and stop trying again and take a step back. Be passive and patient. So that is the High Priestess. So like I said, if it was a situation where her passion is to build a business for the family, and he needs to be patient with her and understanding, and she needs to be patient with him because this is a very big change and adjustment for him and their family. So I hope that was helpful. Love y'all. Later.